Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we're tackling a topic that honestly, a lot of folks just write off as this dry back office chore. But I'm going to show you how it's actually a strategic powerhouse for literally any successful business. We are talking all about procurement. Now, get a load of this number 25%. That is wild, right? Without proper procurement processes in place, things like corruption and just pure inefficiency can actually inflate contract costs by a quarter. Just imagine 25% of a company's purchasing budget just vanishing into thin air. So this isn't just about, pushing paper around. It's about protecting the absolute financial lifeblood of an organization. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The power of procurement. 2. Procurement versus purchasing. 3. The procurement cycle. 4. Vendor selection and rating. And finally, 5. Bidding, RFQs, and POs.
All right, Section 1, the power of procurement. So at its core, procurement is defined as the management of a company's external resources to secure goods, services, capabilities, and knowledge under the most favorable conditions. Notice it doesn't just say buying stuff, right? It's a completely comprehensive strategy. Whether we're talking about sourcing microchips for a massive global tech launch or securing raw steel for a factory, it's about managing absolutely everything necessary to run a business from the outside world.
So, why does this actually matter? Well, the strategic impacts are massive. Smart procurement, it controls spending, which obviously directly boosts the bottom line. But it's also like a shield. It prevents those critical inventory shortages that could unexpectedly just halt an entire production line. It protects the brand from devastating supply chain scandals, and it ensures the absolute highest quality of the finished goods. It's not just about containing costs, it's a massive driver for true competitive advantage.
Moving on to Section 2, procurement versus purchasing. People toss these two terms around interchangeably all the time, but honestly, separating them is totally vital for understanding how a successful business operates. Procurement is the strategic umbrella. It's the brain work, identifying what the business actually needs, researching suppliers, negotiating those long-term contracts, and building lasting relationships. Purchasing, on the other hand, that's just a subset of it. It's purely transactional. It's the operational act of, say, swiping the corporate credit card, creating a requisition, submitting a purchase order, and paying the invoice. Put simply, procurement is the strategy, purchasing is the execution.
Okay, Section 3, the procurement cycle. Let's step out of the high-level definitions and break down the core transactional flow, the real heartbeat of the daily buying routine. It basically moves through 5 major sequential steps. It starts with creating a purchase requisition, moves to issuing the PO, securing supplier approval, receiving the delivery for a thorough review, and finally, invoice approval and payment. Now, if we zoom out to the broader end-to-end timeline, it always starts at Phase 1, identifying a specific material need from a user. Phase 2 surveys the market to evaluate quotes and potential suppliers. Phase 3 locks in the formal contracting and issues the purchase order. Phase 4 covers the logistics, actually receiving and checking the products to make sure they're up to par. And Phase 5 wraps the whole thing up by processing the invoice and fulfilling payment terms. Sticking to this logical flow guarantees that literally nothing falls through the cracks.
Which brings us to Section 4, vendor selection and rating. Think of vendor selection like a seriously high-stakes job interview for a business partner. You aren't just looking at the price tag here. You have to verify all sorts of things. Do they have the financial strength and resources to handle your massive scale? Are they genuinely trustworthy with stellar reviews? Can they meet your exact technical specs for quality? Factoring in their on-time delivery capabilities and strict regulatory compliance ensures you're partnering with someone who actually strengthens rather than weakens your entire supply chain. And once you've actually hired a vendor, the work definitely doesn't stop. Enter vendor rating. This is a formal system used to continuously evaluate and score vendor performance based on super clear metrics like quality, delivery reliability, and price. It's a real game changer because it allows companies to reward their top performers with future business, heavily mitigate operational risks, and give suppliers the vital benchmark feedback they need to improve their own competitiveness. To see how a rating system actually plays out in practice, imagine prioritizing your metrics based on what matters most to you. Let's say a company decides the quality of items is absolutely paramount, so they weight it heavily at 50%. Delivery reliability comes in at 30%, and price is only weighted at 20%. By multiplying the vendor's raw score out of 10 by these specific weights, you calculate a total performance score. Doing this math completely removes emotion from the equation and aligns every single vendor decision directly with the company's core strategic priorities. All right, last stop, Section 5, bidding, RFQs, and POs. So before a purchase order is ever even signed, a company will usually engage in competitive bidding. Through a formal request for quotation, or RFQ, they solicit detailed proposals from multiple prospective vendors. This acts as a highly effective filter. It lets you compare capabilities and pricing side by side to guarantee that you are in fact securing those most favorable conditions we were talking about earlier. Once a winning bid finally emerges, we hit the real catalyst of the transaction, the purchase order. The anatomy of a PO spells out exactly what's going down. It includes the vendor's information, precise item descriptions and quantities, agreed upon prices, firm delivery dates, and specific payment terms. It leaves absolutely zero room for ambiguity. And this is crucial. Once the vendor reviews and accepts it, that simple request officially transforms into a legally binding contract. Our source material actually captures this beautifully. It states, the catalyst for each transaction is a purchase order, which serves as a communication indicating we have agreed on terms, so send us materials and we will pay you. I mean, that perfectly summarizes the foundational trust, backed by heavy legal weight, of course, that keeps massive global supply chains running smoothly day in and day out.
So I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder today. Is your supply chain merely a cost center, or is it a competitive advantage? Because by shifting our mindset from simple transactional purchasing to a highly strategic, comprehensive procurement process, businesses can boost their bottom line, protect their hard-earned reputation, and secure a massive edge in the market. Procurement isn't just buying stuff, guys. It's business building. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope you leave here eager to optimize your own operations.